playoffs.
Knock it off!
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Knock it off!
The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, you want to crown them? Then crown them.
Knock it off!
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
You play to win the game.
Knock it off!
Hello?
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King Miguel. This is Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It's Sunday, 11:06 a.m. right now, September 18th, 2022. 9 goes into 18 two times. I got nothing left. There's a 0 and 2 twos. I got nothing. Maybe 9 goes into 18 twice, and then 2 goes into 4 twice, and then we all end up with two twos. Maybe that's how we work it. Brother Ray joining me as always. Ray, I'm sorry, I got to break that down for the math geeks. There might be something.
You had me taking my shoes and socks off and starting to try and count here. I'm not ready for mathematics this early on a Sunday.
That's true, but then again, you are because you're working with spreads. So you what you're saying is not business math, more
gambling. Yeah, gambling math is
gambling business. Yeah, exactly. All right, joining me and you and us as always, M1 Mashadamus Matt. What's going on, Matt? Hey, the card hog.
What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on is I'm starting to think I've had the same names for too long, and my brain is coming up with something along the lines of like ballpoint pen, a honing device, radar. Like I'm locked in. And last week I did well for like Brother Ray was saying, first week is always the toughest. But I'm seeing the field. I can't wait to tell you about it.
For the record, Brother Ray was the top dog for week 1. Now going into week 2, I am 1-0, and you two are 0-1. I took the Chargers, and they covered the spread. I like the Chargers. I don't see them as that much worse than the Chiefs, but I guess Ray, what did you think of the game?
I think their defense. I think the Chargers' defense is, and they did enough to hinder Mahomes. I mean, he had, still had a good night, but not as usual, 350 plus and 4 touchdowns. So I think their defense is legitimate. They did the same thing the week before in week 1. I think that's a defense to be reckoned. And I think when they fix things, the Chargers, they should have won that game. I mean, Gerald Everett was gassed, and he's the reason for that pick 6. But when they turn it on, that could be the team to beat in the AFC.
Hold on. Is he the reason for the pick 6? Because before that play started, he was asking to get off. And then Herbert goes right to him. You don't listen. I played Madden a lot of times. When your play is yellow and you keep going to him, he's going to fumble. Don't go to the tired guy.
He's on the field and he ran a really bad route. You saw it. He stopped.
Hey, for the record,
and it was a pick.
Just to interject, this is the best Madden that I've played in over 10 years. Easy. It's got John on the cover, and it's just the game is unbelievable. But really, be quick. The new 2K for NBA came out, and you can play a full season in decades. You could play in the Magic Johnson 80s, the Michael Jordan 90s. They get everybody. It's sick.
That's awesome.
I looked at the old Lakers team. Right, I looked at the Sixers team. It was Bobby Jones and Julius, and you could play with Moses. Like you can play with those guys. Like Stu's Knicks has Starks and Ewing and like Oakley. Like Stu's got to come over.
Wait a minute, King. So you're telling me I could be like the Detroit Pistons of the '80s playing against the? Oh, that is awesome.
You could play the whole season in the '80s though, and they changed the way that they film it. They come up with the old CBS score thing on the corner, and it's grainier. Oh, dude, each decade looks, and you have to play by the rules. If you play zone defense in the '80s, you get a technical on you. Wow. Right? The '90s is hand checking. It's going to show these kids how much different it is, how difficult it is to score in different eras, decades, which I think is like, when he was showing me that, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, you can play as any team now.
It's crazy.
It's mind blowing. All right. Well, anyways, guys, on to the 1 o'clock picks. It's 11:11. Hold on. Done. Let's start with the games. Are you ready? Ray, I'm going to start with you. Traveling to Baltimore, where the Miami Dolphins, your Miami Dolphins, are 3-point underdogs to the Baltimore Ravens. Ray, the
I got him at
over-under-
3.5, King.
Me too. I got 3.5.
Oh, I got 3 right now. I can show you the screen.
If you can show me where
Right there.
to get them at 3, I haven't seen them at 3,
Right there. Bet
you know,
online.
all week. And trust me, you know how much I love Miami, and I'm wondering why. And it scares me because if it was at the 3, I'd be a little bit more settled.
You
But
got
I'm
it?
not liking the half.
Can you see it?
Where is
It's the
Bet
very first pick.
Online?
Very first pick. Very top pick. It's
Tell you, man,
betonline.ag. This is the one that Masso uses. This is the one that I use.
I got 3.5 on Sportsbook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BetOnline.
and Bravada's got him at 3.5.
BetOnline's got him at 3. The Ravens. I just took him.
See,
Probably.
I would feel okay.
We're going by my spread. This is the spread that we always use. The same website and the same.
I'll
one
let Brother Ray start with this because,
Yeah,
to
go
be
ahead, Ray.
honest,
Yeah,
Go ahead,
guys, don't worry about that half point. Miami very rarely beats the Ravens. Over the years, this is the one team that's always had their number. They did beat them last year, and that it was shocking in itself. And they blitzed Jackson and pressured him all game. I got to think that they're going to respond to that this year. I got to think that they're going to respond to that pressure this year and come up with a plan. I think Miami's going to have a letdown from last week. Coach got his first win. I think there's going to be a letdown. Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan. And I hope I'm wrong, but I have to go with the Ravens here, minus 3.5 to win the game and to win it soundly.
And the over-under
you
is
just said
44.
you're going to go with the Dolphins with a minus 3.5 to win the game.
No,
No,
I'm
you mean
sorry.
Ravens.
I'm going to go with the Ravens. Yeah, I'm going to. That's subliminal, hopeful messaging. The
Did-
Ravens minus 3.5.
Did you want to touch the over-under of 44.5 or 44? I got.
I think it's gonna be under.
All right, Ray and under. Maddie, you're up.
Well, when we were talking pre-show, I heard you guys say both, and I can agree with you a little bit that the Miami Dolphins didn't put on the display that everyone would say off of first glance, but I think that's also a testament to the defense of the personnel of the Patriots. And last year when we seen the Dolphins beat the Ravens, it was a different time in team for both of these. This was the upstart for the Dolphins, and it was also the start of the downward trend for the Ravens as we knew it. And I believe Miami kind of set them on that downward trend. That doesn't mean anything. This is a different Baltimore team. Lamar looks like he's got his head in the game. But there was a few plays last week where there was the defensive coverage of the Jets. And let's talk about that game because the Jets really didn't look as bad
Wait,
as they
all right, hold on.
displayed in that one, showing
what-
the Baltimore Ravens took advantage of 2 breakdowns in the secondary of the Jets. The Jets held the Ravens, which normally love to run. And I think Miami will do the same.
So who do you
what
like?
it comes down to is this. I love the secondary of the Dolphins. And I don't love Lamar Jackson against this defense.
Okay. All right. So
The
you want
spread
Miami?
is
and over and under.
crazy to me. I think it should be more of a pick 'em. Give me the Dolphins.
Over under 44.
I actually think it's an over.
All right.
I think it's an over. I think you
So-
see
Here's my question. Ray, they scored 1 touchdown on offense last week. Am I right? They had a defensive pick 6 and a field goal, right? The
hold
Dolphins-
on now, hold up. With that being said, when you strip sack, you give another possession. The offense takes away
What I'm
a
saying
possession
is-
from the Miami offense.
All right.
And
Their
the way
offense-
the Patriots play is run the clock and they shorten people's possessions. That's the way they have to stay in the game. So it takes when you normally get so many possessions, you can cut that in half with Belichick. He does that all the time.
All right. But still, my question was they only scored 1 touchdown in that game that seemed like they were controlling at one point. Like, that's my point. The offense only mustered 1 touchdown. against Baltimore, it's going to be difficult, and I think Baltimore is going to beat them by 3. Like this is a tough game for the Dolphins right here. I mean, Ray, if they win this game, the Dolphins strong, then you got to feel really good about the Dolphins, right? This changes this makes you if they beat the Ravens soundly, this to me this brings the Dolphins up here now, right?
There's no doubt.
King.
Yeah, this is the game.
Brother Ray, give me 1 second. I'll let you interject. This game is so important to Miami because of who's coming up on their schedule. When you talk about must-wins, last week against the Patriots was absolutely a must-win for Miami, and it is this week again because they got KC, they got Buffalo, and they got Cincy. You got to win this game.
I'm with you, but all right, move on to the next game. Maddie, let's start with you. Jets at Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by 6.5. Who do you like?
I'll tell you what, right? I was on Cleveland last week. I'm on the Jets this week. The Jets played a pretty decent game defensively. They got beat on 2 breakdowns in the secondary, which led to a little inflation. What do the Cleveland Browns love to do? They love to run. Matches up so well with what the Jets do well. Stop the run. We talked last week, and I was the only one beating the drum of Jacoby Brissett. I'm telling you right now, he's not the type of game manager that is going to extend a lead. He's going to keep you in the game and manage the game. He's going to keep you right there. He's like a Patriots, clone drone. Jets 6.5.
All right, I'm gonna go next. I like.
What's the over under, King?
It's
43.5.
43.5.
No, 39.5.
Yeah, I have
39.5.
30. I have 38.5.
I like the under.
I have 38.5. That's crazy. I like the over first off, and secondly, I like the Jets in this game because I don't trust Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's that good. I mean, they can run, but I don't trust them. But Flacco looked like he was like on that drug you give to cats, that K drug. Like he just looked like he was out of his mind. He was just throwing the ball around. Right? If he's just gonna fling it around all willy nilly, is that a plus or a negative for the Jets? I see that as a negative. I'm still going with the Jets plus 6.5 and the over. But right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets too with the 6.5. Jacoby Brissett did not impress me week 1, and it's pretty much what we thought it was going to be. Very conservative game manager. He is not going to take that team from behind and like Mastradamus said, and get you a win. That's not going to happen. They have to control from the kickoff. They have to run the ball. That's the only way this team is built to win. Now, do I think they have a great offensive line? Yes. Do I think they're solid in all phases of the game? Yes. But I think the Jets, I don't think we saw the real Jets team last week. I think we're going to see that this week, and I like them to get in the 6.5.
Sorry, I never adjusted it like that. I've never seen those pitches go up like that.
What do you think about the over-under, brother?
I'm going to go with you. I think the under. I think these are 2 really good defensive teams, and I think the Browns, again, they want to be conservative. They want to win like 14-0 games. That's going to be your Browns team until Deshaun Watson comes back.
All right. Moving on to the third game, I will go first. The Washington Commanders travel to Detroit. The game is a pick. I have it as a pick. Detroit is a much better team. That's the end of that story. The over-under is 48.5. I'd probably go under, but I would take Detroit in the pick. Raymond.
Yeah, I'm going with Detroit in this. I love them at home. I think Swift is going to play. He may not play. He may not have his full snaps. But that offense is solid. That offense is absolutely rock solid right now. And we talked about it with Goff. And I think Washington, I'm not sold on Wentz. I'm going to take Goff over Wentz.
Wentz is even sold on Wentz. You know what I mean?
But I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over. This is going to be a shootout. I'm going to go over.
Maddie?
I'm 100% with Brother Ray. And with Wentz, it might be like he has too much talent that he actually looks like a fantasy relevant quarterback again because, Curtis Samuel is finally starting to show out like he should have even last year. We all knew Curtis Samuel's a gamer. Like, I said it last year. He reminds me of Percy Harvin with the heart and the toughness. He's just a different breed of football player. He's going to hurt you, and he's an offensive weapon. Usually you hear that from the defensive players, but there's guys where you get just sick of hitting. That's Curtis Samuel. Now you got Jahan Dotson, who I've been beating the drum for forever, and now you forget about Scary Terry. I love a shootout, but I love the Lions in this. We've been knocking and beating the drum of the Lions. They're a perfect fantasy football team, and D Swift doesn't even have to play. Jamal Williams is a beast of a backup, and even if Swift doesn't get his volume, Jay Williams is gonna hurt you. Lions in the over all day. All
right, we're all in agreement on that. Moving on, Raymond, to Jacksonville. Indianapolis travels in. They're favored by 3. So Indy comes into Jacksonville, favored by 3. I guess Indy would be favored by 6 at home. If we go by that number. Over under is 43.5. Ray, who do you like?
Yeah, and you know what? I was on the Jaguars last week. I thought the real Jaguars. I thought with a new coaching staff that they were going to come out and show that some of the talent that they have. They came on late in the second half, and it was a game that they could have very easily had. The Colts are hurt. Michael Pittman out. I mean, they have some issues right now. They don't have a number one. I think for fantasy purposes, Ashton Doolin might be somebody you want to stream today. He had a decent day last week. I mean, they're hurt. No Pierce, no Pittman. I hate to say it, but the Jaguars do look good in this, but I'm going to go with the Colts minus the 3.
Before Matt goes, I'm going to go on this. I also like the Colts minus 3. My issue too is with the running backs in Jacksonville. They're going to be splitting these guys, which I don't agree with. I think you got to get one guy going. You get somebody going down, just get them running. Running backs, they lather up and like a horse and they keep going. That's just how they work. You can't. I hate that they keep switching them in. It didn't look great in Jacksonville last week, and quite honestly, in Indy, my biggest issue was just. It looked like they hated the quarterback still. But that defense is brutal on Indy. Our man, Kwity Paye, who's 4 helmets down, 2 sacks. So I like the Colts minus 3 against Jacksonville. Matt?
Couldn't disagree more. And this is one of the games that I feel so celebratory about beforehand. I see this game so clearly. Brother Ray touched on no Pittman today. I look for pick up Paris Campbell, feel confident in starting him. But this is the thing, right? The Colts looked not like what we think of them against the Texans. And you are going against a much better organization, I would say, in the Jaguars. And I believe that. The Texans probably ended the year on a better fashion, better note. But what I'm going to tell you about the Jaguars is this. They looked great last week. Great. I love their defense. I loved what I seen out of their offense. Christian Kirk, 117 yards. They're spreading the ball around. James Robinson is the lead back as of right now, but we still got Travis Etienne getting 47 yards just in spare moments. They're figuring themselves out. But what they did and what they showed last week was more than anything that they showed last year. And they are going to beat the Colts today. I love them in the over.
Does anybody remember the game last week that the Jaguars played? You guys remember that game, though, right? They lost
absolutely
to the Commanders with Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure you remember that game because the commies stink. They stink out loud.
Who stinks?
The commies.
The commies? Absolutely not.
Carson Wentz is junk. All right. Next, Matt, Tampa Bay goes to New Orleans.
I love this.
Tampa's favored by 2.5. What do you got?
It's such a trap. The public loves Tom Brady. Saints beat the crap out of them. They've done it with any quarterback that they've had. They actually have a quarterback now who can actually whip that ball around the lot. And I'm going to tell you, Tampa Bay is going to put it on them today. Feel confident. Go with the Saints.
I
got confused there for a second. Ray, who do you like?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that Tampa Bay defense last week, and the Saints barely won the game last week. The Saints barely came from behind and won that game. Last second field goal. I you have to love the Bucs in this. Their defense, their offense. Fournette's going to play. Evans is going to play. If Evans and Fournette suit up, how do you go against the Bucs? Only less than 3. Sign me up.
Yeah,
Listen.
wait. I'm in there too. I'm taking the Tampa Bay
That's
Buccaneers.
the reason
-2.5.
why I'm telling you the Saints are going to run. When you see that spread the way it is, it's telling you take the Bucs, and that's what a lot of people are going to do. It's not happening, fellas. Be very wary of that one.
I will go with
What's the over-under on that?
43.5. 43.5.
43.5?
Yeah, go over.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
43.5. Yeah.
What's that tell you?
Tells
you Tom Brady's going to be on his back. Tells you get him out of your fantasy lineups, people.
He would never be in my fantasy lineup. Let's start now with the game over in New York. The Carolina Panthers travel with Baker Mayfield, the guy, one of the quarterbacks I hate the most in the world. Travel over to New York Giants. It's a pick game. It started off at -5.5 for the Panthers. So does this game worry me as a Giants fan? To be honest, no, not really. And I don't know why. I think the Giants are going to trounce the Panthers. Here's the thing. The one thing the Giants were missing last week, I watched the whole game, was a pass rush. If they had a pass rush, everything would have been different because they would have got pressure on him and it changed the whole game. We couldn't get there. Kayvon Thibodeau is probable for today to suit up. Azeez Ojulari, I don't know. He might be questionable. He may not make it. But just to get Kayvon on the field, watch. He's going to have at least a sack. He's going to have 1 sack in his very first game. At least one. I watched his first step. It's one of the fastest first steps I've ever seen. I've seen OCU Manura, who that's all he really was a quick first step, and then everything else just happened. I like the Giants. I think the Giants ball out today. How about that? I actually think the Giants offense explodes. Then the defense plays hard. They just got a thing going that we haven't had in years. Just the way the players are playing. Everybody's coming to the ball. Everybody's hitting. Dexter Lawrence is talking. Did you see him mic'd up? Dexter Lawrence was talking shit the whole game. He's like, hey, you know, it's 67. We ain't done yet. He goes, and then he goes, number 17, Tannehill. 17. Can you stay inside the pocket so I can touch on you legally? That's what Dexter Lawrence is telling Tannehill. Can you stay in the pocket so I can touch on you legally? Like, he's nuts. They're nuts. They're great. Going with the Giants. Pick game. Right.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, this is a game I would completely avoid. The Giants did win last week. They should have lost. At certain times, they look good. At certain times, Giant fans just wanted to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, but when he threw that interception in the end zone, what happened next? Daboll went up to him and got in his face and screamed at him on national TV. And then from there on, Dan didn't make any bad fucking flip throws. He ran it if he had to. Daboll is going to control this kid, Ray. He's going to make this team better. He is.
Until I see them control the game, start to finish, I'm going to be wary. I have Giants +1 right now. They're getting 1. It's +1 right now, the spread.
I
have the Giants getting 1. If I had to bet this game, I think I would go with the Panthers here.
All right. Well, we all got to pick a loser one week, so that's fine. Maddie, who do you like?
What's the over-under in this, King?
Oh, it keeps changing.
43.5.
43.5.
Okay. I'm going to go under here. And the reason why I believe Carolina is going to take this game is because I had Cleveland last week, and Cleveland, I believe that they just has the better overall organization, defense, offense. With that being said, it shined to the top. That isn't always the case. The better team doesn't always win. But I had Cleveland over Carolina last week. Now, Carolina had to face, I would say, a better team in week 1. And when you fight a better opponent the next week, you face a weaker opponent. And I do believe the Giants are a weaker opponent on both sides of the ball than Cleveland is. I got Carolina and the Giants coming back to earth. And Carolina kind of plateauing and doing what they should do. Carolina is going to be a good team this year. We don't know how many games that we're going to see. And not on anything. They're going to face a much lesser offensive line than they did with Cleveland. So we'll see a much better
The-
performance from
The
them.
Giants are gonna mop the floor with the Panthers. They beat
not
them
happening.
They beat them last year. They're gonna beat them again this year. All right. They're
Different
gonna
team.
pressure Baker Mayfield, and the Giants' offense is gonna look.
Over under,
phenomenal.
fellas. I got the under.
All right. I'm telling you, it's a
What do you
lock.
guys got for the over under?
It's over. It's going over. They're gonna score points. This
Yeah,
points
I'm gonna go. I'll go with the over on this. I think both defenses are gonna give up.
The points.
Over. What'd you guys have for the over on the Saints Tampa Bay game?
It's 43.5. I have the over in that.
Yeah, over. All right, Matty, you're up. New England is no, actually it's Ray, but it's Matt's team, so I'm gonna go to Matt. Matt, New England's traveling to Pittsburgh. New England's favored by 3. The over under there is 40. Who do you like?
Uh-oh.
Is he thinking? Matt?
You want me to go?
Yeah,
Yes.
ask you.
Oh, I thought you said it's my team, but you go start with Ray. Oh,
No, I said
all right.
it's Ray's turn, but it's your team, so I'll go with you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm always ready to go. I
New England Pitt.
just didn't hear you correctly. This is crazy because I don't believe the Patriots win many games this year. But with the spread being the way it is, it makes you want to put money with Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh beat Cincy last week, and New England kind of looked putrid on offense, and we knew they were going to look putrid. Pittsburgh's got a pretty good defense, as we've seen last week. But when it comes down to coaching, Belichick mops the floor with Tomlin. Go with the Patriots here. I say with confidence, and I say it's going to be the over. There's something about Mitch Trubisky and the way they're going to be able to attack him and defend him that the Patriots are going to be able to look very good against. And I think it's actually, I'm going to change my over to an under because if I feel the way I feel, it's going to be because they suffocate the Pittsburgh offense. So I'm thinking under. New England and the under here.
Raymond, your turn.
I'm not going to look into anything. I'm just going to look into the present right now. And if you're going to give the Steelers 3 at home, and I saw that Pats offense last week, and now you have an injured quarterback with a bad back coming in against a team that got all that heat on Burrow and Minka Fitzpatrick playing as good as any safety in the league, blocked a field goal, got a pick. I love the Steelers in this. And until the Pats show me that they have NFL ready offense, I'm going to keep picking against them until they prove me wrong. And I will gladly take the 3 points at home in this.
So if this is the same two teams, right, as last week, then I like Pittsburgh at home +3. That defense.
How about the over under, fellas?
That should beat up on the Patriots offense. So I like Pittsburgh at home.
I said to somebody at work the other day, I feel like you should take the under in every single Patriots game until they show, like Brother Ray say, signs of a professional offense. But the way I see New England winning today is attacking that run defense. Watt being gone, probably seeing how his replacement's going to react. But I also seen signs of life in the run game last week of New England, where if they would have just stayed with it, maybe that game's different.
I'm with you. So before we move over to 4:00 games, in the 1:00 games, we had 2 games where we all agreed on. That was the Jets and Detroit. Let's see. Before we
What do you
move
guys
on,
say about the Pittsburgh over under?
I think that's going to be under.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the under with that game.
Now, speaking of under, before we go on to the 4:00 games, I was watching the Eli Manning show on YouTube. It's awesome, right? He had on Ryan Reynolds, and have you guys ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
The guy, the head writer guy, the main guy that plays Mac. What's his name? So, anyways, him and Ryan Reynolds bought a soccer team in England, and there's like a whole Netflix special about it. And they were on Eli Manning's show, talking about it. So they were talking about the game in London that the Giants are playing in a couple of weeks against Green Bay. And they were like, "Yeah, what do you think about that game?" And everyone goes, Take the under. Take the under. Like, especially the two guys that work now in England, Ryan Reynolds and that, what's his name? Charlie McInerney?
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah.
They're both like, take the under. In other words, that field is so horrendous and no one will say it. You know that London field, the pitch is so bad. They rip it up every year. It's always a sloppy game, right? He's right. Like I was thinking about that. Whatever the spread is, the Giants, Packers come London, I'm betting the under. Because it's true. I've watched the game throughout the years. Right? I watched Eli Manning outrun Jason Taylor on wet grass. That's a true fact. So if that can happen, take the under. Here we go, guys. Moving on to the 4:00 clocks.
Real quick,
Atlanta.
King.
Go ahead, Matt.
Real quick, King.
Please.
Kamara is now officially out.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. Yeah. All right, so let's move Atlanta to the LA Rams. And the Rams are favored by 10. Ray, the over-under is 46.
46.5.
What do you like?
Yeah, I have it as 46.5. I have to say I love the Falcons getting 10 here, but this could be the trap game where the Rams come out and win by 40. But if you're looking at these two teams right now, if you look at the way the Rams started off, I'll take the 10 points with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are a much better team than people give them credit for. It doesn't show in these spreads because obviously they're still looking at them like a bottom tier team. Marcus Mariota looked pretty good last week. I think it's going to continue. I like the Falcons getting 10 points here.
I'm going to go next. Listen, because I was thinking the same thing you were thinking. The team that I saw for Atlanta last week was so much better than I thought Atlanta was. The defense was hanging in there and playing well. They have a ton of weapons. 10 is a lot. It's just a lot. So I'm going to go with Atlanta here to cover the spread. They're not going to win the game, but I like Atlanta plus 10. Matt?
I love the Rams to absolutely annihilate the Falcons, and I believe it's going to be like 41-10. Take the over. And I think that what you had last week was a great divisional game between the Falcons and the Saints. And, you know, you're wondering what you're going to see from Mariota. Now you got a week of tape, but you also got the defending champs just sitting there hearing everything about the media and how bad they were, and they're the worst team in the world. We know the ocean waves of the NFL. I'm telling you right now, to me, the Rams, you could go to the alternate spreads and put like -17 and win some money on this game. I'm telling you, the Rams are just going to beat them seriously. Marcus Mariota is a shifty quarterback, good runner, not with this defense. And what was done to them last week was done to them by a much, much more elite player. And Josh Allen is more capable of attacking the defense in the ways that Marcus Mariota could only dream of. It's not happening.
All right. Let's see. All right. Moving on to the next game, Matt. Seattle comes into San Francisco. Frisco is favored by 9. The over-under, I believe, is 39.5. Who do you like? Matt?
It's such a big spread. And it's more like, are we going to see the San Francisco team now because they're not in a monsoon? We know what they could do with run efficiency, and I think you see a big performance from Jeff Wilson Jr. today. I also think Trey Lance looks good, and it's because he's going against a Seattle defense who now is out without Jamal Adams for the year, which, maybe you can attack the defense a little bit differently the way you want to pass. And that kind of is actually right up the alley with Trey Lance, because what he's going to do is drop big bombs, and that's where the safety comes in. So, give me San Fran, and I think that they look good, because if they don't, Jimmy G is going to come in a lot sooner than you think, because that contract was not for any reason at all than what they saw and what they didn't see, I should say, out of Trey Lance. But I don't think it really matters. I think that they roll.
All right. Seattle goes to Frisco. Frisco's favored by 9. Ray, I'm going to go next. I'm going to tell you that What I do know is Seattle stinks. I don't care what happened last week. I don't care. That's a stinky team. And I like Frisco at home, and I do think that they win by 10. So I am going to go with San Francisco. Raymond.
I'm going to lone wolf this, and I'm going to take 9 points with the Seahawks. I don't believe in Trey Lance yet, and I know they were in a monsoon last week, and you really didn't get a chance to see that full offense. Until I see him take that team and lead them, I got to take the Seahawks here, getting 9. I mean, they hung with Denver last week, and Denver I think has a really good roster, a good running game. Geno Smith actually played well enough to win that game, and Denver did blow the clock management at the end of the game and made some bad decisions. But I haven't seen anything from the Niners yet. And until I see it, I'm going to take the 9 points, and I'll take the Seahawks in this.
With you, hey, 808 lowercase d 013. That's a very odd name. Please hit the like and subscribe button and drop us a comment. If you think one of our picks are wrong, by all means, put your picks in the comments. Tell us what you think. That's how this algorithm thing works. They have to leave comments. You just have to leave. You could put 2 initials, KL for the King Mike L, whatever you got. Right here, though, sit or start, Stafford or Murray. And then he says running back,
This
Harris or Edmonds or Robinson. I'm going to go Najee Harris, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you to take Kyler Murray. I don't know. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh,
Wait, Ray?
I love Stafford today.
Stafford?
I think Stafford's going to go off today. I'm still not convinced with Murray, and there's no way you sit Najee Harris. Guys, when you have studs in your lineup, you have to start your studs. Edmonds and Robinson are not on that level. To me, it's Stafford Harris all day.
He's right. It does. It spells Bob Dole. Hey, his name. I get it now, guys. It's a good one. Please hit a like, subscribe, and put a comment in there about spelling Bob Dole.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Melvin Gordon or Chase Edmonds? PPR.
Chase.
Chase Edmonds, right? Chase Edmonds.
He's the number one guy in that offense as far as running the ball. There's no question.
Whale, please hit the like, subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Good luck with that one. Moving on, guys, to the next game. Cincy goes to Dallas, Maddie. Cincy's favored by 7 going into Dallas without Dak Prescott. Oh, my. I got to tell you, I felt so awful that the Cowboys season seems to be in disarray. I felt awful. But anyways, Maddie, Cincy by 7 over Dallas. Wait a minute. Hold on. Isn't my floor-to-ceiling highlight with Murray over Steers for his run ability?
I don't believe so, right? Listen, you got to look at what he's working with. Ron Elmore's out. You got
Plus, last week has me worried about Stafford.
Well, last week he was going against it's funny. It's funny, right? It's funny because I spoke about Buffalo defense and how they kill this kid.
Is he done buzzing you? You done with the beeps, the sounds? What do you got, man? Ray, you want to continue?
Stafford and what he's got to work with. He's got to work with compared to what Murray doesn't have to work with, it's a wrap.
I mean, right now, Murray's working with Greg Dortch. That doesn't work. Stafford has all his weapons, and Murray got most of his stuff last week in garbage time. Those yards mean nothing. Those touchdowns meant nothing at the end because it was garbage time.
Hope we hooked you up, Bob. Maddie, what do you think? Cincy at Dallas, Cincy by 7.
It's got to be Cincy. It has to be Cincy. This could be. I would stay away from it. I mean, if you're going to ask me, I would go with Cincy. But Cooper Rush looked great last year against Minnesota, and it looked like their offense was had more fluidity. And if you ask Dez Bryant, he's putting like 10K on Dallas today. I think that's a little dig towards Dak, but I could see their offense. Looking with some continuity today. I'll go Cincy minus 7.
I get Cincy minus 7 as well. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to keep up with them. Ray?
Me too. I love Cincy in this. Cooper Rush, again, show me. You have to show me. And right now they don't have a number 1 receiver because CeeDee Lamb is not a number 1 receiver. I think he proved it last week.
And that's a silly spread, 7. You know what I mean? That's like a scare you spread, but it's not going to scare me because they're going to get beat Dallas by a lot. All right. By the way, I have right now a 140-pound dog putting his head on my leg and pushing down as hard as he can because he's locked in the
I don't
basement
know
with me.
about that, King.
And he needs to go
I
out.
think-
So if he starts barking, I may have to leave or he'll blow out the speakers. Now, moving on, Maddie, Ray, Houston goes to Denver. Denver's here by 10. I think that's a lot, me personally, against Houston. Like, I don't think Denver's that good, and I think Houston's better than you think. So I'll let you pick first, Ray, but I'm just giving that. I want to say it up front. Ray?
I think the Broncos may win the game, but I'll take the Texans getting the 10. You guys know I love the Texans. I thought they played really well last week. You know, like, I mean, they got the tie. What's not to like? Give me the 10. Denver, I mean, they need to show me that they can coach a game, that they can manage a clock. I haven't seen that yet.
No, Russ looks bad. There's something going on in Russville.
I like the Texans getting the 10.
Me too. I like the Texans getting the 10. Not winning, but getting the 10. And there is something wrong in Russville. I'm telling you that.
Hold on. No. Listen. I know I did. I thought Denver was going to go to Seattle and have their way. But up in Seattle is a place that was probably going, we hate you. We can't wait to beat you. And that's not going to be the case for Seattle the rest of the way. You're not going to see that foot and spirit out of them like that. That was their Super Bowl. It was, sure. But when it comes down to Houston and Denver, Houston did what they did last week. And guess what they did? They tied. They did not find a way to win. But they did what they did. Could you be proud of? Is there moral victories in football? I don't think so. You got to win. So when it comes down today, I do think it's a big spread. I'll take Houston. I do think the Broncos are a lot better than what they showed last week, and I think that they're gonna come back to what we thought they were, and I think that the Houston Texans are gonna too.
So you're still taking Houston plus 10, right?
I'm a big fan of Davis Mills. I think he's playing with the chip on his shoulder. And he's also playing for a contract. He knows that the quarterback class is coming next year, and Texans, if they don't like what they see from him, this is a contract year. Because he could be replaced next year with this draft coming up. Because chances are they're going to be picking low. Give me Davis Mills. Give me 10 points.
So we're all in on Denver, is what we're saying. I mean, on Houston. We're all in on Houston. Ray, I'll let you start this one. Arizona goes to the Raiders. Arizona, who, in my opinion, has now played horrendous down the stretch last year and the same style of horrendous ball to start the season. So it makes me think maybe the Cardinals are just not that good anymore, and they need to show us they're good. So I don't know what you'd think. Raiders are favored by a hefty 5.5. Who do you like?
Love the Raiders. Love the Raiders in this one. It's less than a touchdown. Like you said, I mean, Greg Dortch. They're trotting out Greg Dortch right now. He's no Rondale Moore. He's no Christian Kirk. They're hurting right now. And you saw it. I mean, they were never in that game last week at all. So, I think the Raiders are a really good team. I think Josh made the mistake last week of going away from the run. I think he should have stuck with the run, and he didn't do it. I think he's going to adjust. But the Cardinals just, until they get their act together, again, it's less than 7. Give me the Raiders at home.
Maddie, you can go next. I left you.
Check this out, right? The Cardinals probably have the worst defense in the NFL. The Raiders played a great game against the LA Chargers to the point where this defense didn't allow any receiver over 66 yards. That's the LA Chargers receivers. Mike Williams just went crazy. So, now, granted, he was all alone, but Josh Palmer did what Brother Ray said he would do. I doubted him. He snuck in a little touchdown at the end there. But the Raiders, if they didn't throw 3 picks, they still had a way to win it at the end. It's not going to be the case today. They have enough tools to separate and beat this team down, and they're going to. This is a great bounce back game for the Raiders. But I also do like James Conner and the Cardinals fantasy-wise against that Raiders defense against the run. I think that they find ways to kind of remain in the game, but they're going to fade away and take the Raiders.
All right. I'm also with the Raiders, -5.5. All right. Before we move into the 8 o'clock game, going into that the Monday night game. I'm sorry. No, this is not the Monday night game. It's a Sunday night game, right? Bears Packers.
There's 2 Monday night games too. This
Monday night
this-
game. My bad.
Somebody
Yeah,
like
yeah.
James said.
All right, so let's do the Bears Packers and then we'll go to the Monday nights. I'm going to do this one first. The Bears travel to Green Bay. It's a -10. Green Bay will play 10 times better than they did last week, but the Bears are still going to cover the spread because 10's too much. The Bears are much better than people think, and the Packers are still trying to figure out their way. I hope Lazard plays. He's listed as probable, but I'm going to take Chicago +10. Right.
This is going to be the coming out party for Justin Fields. Write it down. Justin Fields is going to have a dominant performance. I think fantasy-wise, he'd be a great start today. DFS, put it on him. I mean, he threw two touchdowns in a monsoon last week, okay? I don't think we talked about that enough. I love his rushing ability. He's played well against Green Bay last year. They're getting 10 points. I'm going to take the 10. I think Green Bay wins the game, but I love Chicago to cover.
All right, Matty.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to call for the upset because I feel like Justin Fields is going to find more ways to produce than Aaron Rodgers will. We saw Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams, and it was what I've been saying all along, right? He doesn't have what I think is the best wide receiver in the game, period. You can't just replace that, and they're injured in that area. Even the people that they have that are healthy are just too young. They're too young for Aaron to believe in. Justin Fields, this is going to be his coming out party, and I don't think it's going to end with him just playing okay. I said it to TJ, and I'm going to say it right here on the air. Chicago Bears are here. They're going to win this game, and they're going to send a statement to the North.
Well, I thought you were going to go to another rhyme. They're here. They're going to Chicago. But anyway,
The Bears are here, and they're everywhere.
Ray knows what I mean, though. But I think Ray understands that one.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Yeah.
All right. So before we go to the Monday night games, it's 2 Monday night games.
King, who you got? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I know who you got.
Oh, I already picked. No, I did the Bears. I started off.
He said Bears. All right, he was started off.
Out of 13 games, we agreed, all three of us, on 6. That's just about half.
We agreed on the last 4.
Jets, Detroit, Cincy, Houston, Raiders, and Chicago, right? If you decided, though, to go with the Brothers Lepre, out of the 13 games we've just done so far, we've agreed on 11. The Ravens, Jets, Detroit, Indy, Tampa, Pitt, Atlanta, Cincy, Houston, Raiders, Bears. That's odd, Ray. You should be scared when you have 11 out of 13, the same as me.
Scary. That is scary.
So let us move into the Monday nights. The Monday nights. 10. I hate 2 Monday night games. Can I just say that? I just hate it. All right. Tennessee goes to Buffalo. Buffalo is favored by 10. Matty, who do you like?
See, this is the spread that doesn't scare me. I think you go with Buffalo and you go with them convincingly, and they just absolutely annihilate a pretty bad Tennessee team underneath Mike Vrabel, which is weird because Mike Vrabel teams usually respond well, and they'll find themselves, but they're not going to find themselves this week. Not against the juggernaut that is the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Ray, who do you like?
This does scare me because they should be favored by 20. I mean, if we're being honest here, if you look at the way Tennessee played last week, the Bills should be favored by 20 at home on a Monday night. It is interesting because Davis may not play. They're saying Gabriel Davis is questionable. So Isaiah McKenzie will probably have a big night. He'll get bumped up in the ratings. But it doesn't matter. Like, the Bills should win this easily. I just don't understand how it's 10, and it gets me worried. But the Titans don't have it. They don't have it. Without A.J. Brown, they're a different football team. And Henry can't carry them in this. Bills defense is just too good. Bills.
When I looked at this game, right, I looked at the game. I'm like, Tennessee versus Buffalo. And I looked at the spread. And then I thought about how Tennessee lost last week, and they basically lost because of coaching. Here comes Colby. I immediately thought of Steve Miller and go on, take the money and run. Woo-hoo-hoo. So I am not going to say a word about this. I'm taking Buffalo and going to shut my mouth and keep the money.
Hmm.
You're a big guy.
The only thing I will say about
guy.
this game, King,
Maddie, look at this guy's head, Maddie. Look at his head.
He's like a
Bigger than mine.
bear.
Look at my head next to his. 140-pound moose. He's a monster, dude. He's standing up on his hind
Colby.
legs.
Good boy, Kobe.
Sorry, man. He's a beast. Hold on, let me get back to you. Maddie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Hold on. Hey, nope. Oh, Maddie's out. There you are, Matt. I'm sorry. What happened? Yeah, he's a big dog, Matt.
I was gonna say, right? That's not a dog right there. That's actually a bear. But
Yeah, he's named Kobe Bo
the
Bear.
one thing that will worry me about the Tennessee Buffalo game is the only thing that Tennessee can really do is run. And last year we saw Buffalo can be ran on. I think that they solved that, but we didn't see that in the Rams Buffalo game in Week 1 because the Rams I don't think can really run right now with efficientness with
All right.
efficient rate. But
One last
we'll
game.
see.
One last game, so Brother Ray can give us some fantasy stuff. We got Minnesota going to Philly. Minnesota is plus 2.5. Philly's favored by 2.5 at home. Ray, who do you like?
I'll be honest. I thought the Vikings were the best team I saw last week. They were the best team playing. I think they're strong in everywhere. Their defense is born again. Jefferson got to be the best wide receiver in football, him or Chase. I mean, there's no doubt. They have a better quarterback, in my opinion. Cousins, Whit O'Connell, who used to be his quarterback coach of Washington, is a match made in heaven. There's just too much here to love. I love the Vikings. Please, Vegas, keep giving them points. Vikings all day.
I'm going to jump in here quick. I do hate the Eagles. We know this. Last week, I said to pick the Eagles because there was no way they were going to lose. But I gleefully tell you to take the Minnesota Vikings this week as they trounce. They trounce that horrible green-colored team. So take the Vikings. Matt, you're up.
It's Philly. The home dog, not us, not Philly. That's what they're saying. This is
They're
like
not at
this
all,
could
no.
be
They're the favorite.
potentially an NFC Championship
They're
game.
favored. They're favorites.
They're favored. Eagles are favored.
By 2.5.
Eagles are favored by 2.5.
Yes.
They're giving
That's
2.5.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I love them. I thought you said that they were getting 2.5 at home. That's still fine. I like that. I think defensively, their style, offensively, we've seen they're figuring out how to get it with AJ Brown. You put on another 42 yards and you got Justin Jefferson 192. AJ Brown got 150, and they got more. I think on a more efficient running offense. So Philly at home.
All right.
Give it to me.
Let's break this down. There's 15 games that are going to happen between now and Monday night. Out of the 15 games, we all agreed upon 7 teams. These are the teams that we all agreed upon to win by the spread. Jets, Detroit, Cincy, Houston, the Raiders, Chicago, and Buffalo. Okay? Now, however, if you're with, again, Brother Ray and myself, out of 15 games, we have 13 the same.
Oh, God.
So either Maddie comes up big this week, or the Brothers Lepre just reign supreme. It's going to go one way or the other, but 13 out of 15 picks, that's unusual for me and you, so we're going to see how that goes. Ray, we're over to fantasy football now. I'm going to ask you a question before you go, and then you can start. If I had Corey Davis, Devin Duvernay, Hardman, Landry, or Lazard, who would you start there, right? And Jacoby Myers, by the way.
Hardman can't play because he already played
Right,
Thursday
that's
night.
True. That's true. All right, you're right.
I mean,
I'm down to Corey Davis, Duvernay, Landry, Lazard, and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I think Duvernay, you got to wait on that. He scored last week, but until you see that on a regular basis, I think you have to wait. You always want to go with number one receivers. Jacoby Myers is a pretty good play.
Over Corey Davis?
He's their number one guy. Corey Davis is another strong play too. I would say between Corey Davis and Jacoby Myers.
What about Lazard though? He is playing tonight.
He's going to be the guy. Are you going to wait that long? Are you going to take a chance because it is a night game? And if he doesn't play, what happens? So, I mean,
That's not fair, yeah.
I mean, that's why I would be hesitant with Lazard. If it's a 1 o'clock game and he's healthy, of course you're going to put him in. But you got to have to wait till 8, and then you may not have another option.
Yeah. It says he's expected to play, but it is a sprained ankle, and even when they play, does that mean that they're going to be able to play at full speed? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. You're taking a chance. You're taking a chance.
All right, I'm stuck with that. All right, I got Corey Davis in there with Thielen and Waddle, and for that fourth spot, I can't figure out if it should be Lazard. Or,
You know what it sounds
Landry,
like to me, King
Jacoby
and
Myers.
brother?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like Green Bay's rushing a player back early for some reason.
Well, they definitely are. They definitely
They have to. They have to. Yeah.
All right. He said he's
so
expected to make a season debut. All right. Go ahead, Brother Ray. Fantasy
Yeah,
football, what do you got for us?
just some names for fantasy. I think we talked about Stafford. I think he bounces back bigly today. Hines for the Colts. He's going to catch a lot of balls today. He caught a lot of balls last week. I think it's going to be more this week without Pittman and Pierce in the lineup. So Hines is a really good DFS start. T. Higgins, who's going to play. The price for him on DFS is just absurd. Why jump all over him if he plays tonight?
Hold on. Why he is playing tonight, but why? You think that they're going to target him after coming back from a concussion, not a protocol? I think they're going to kind of take it easy on him, brother.
I don't think so. I think he's going to play. And they said it for all intents and purposes. He's been fine. He has some personal issues. That's why he missed practice. But if he's healthy and he starts, why are you not going to put him in your lineup when you know Chase is going to draw Diggs? So I love T. Higgins tonight. I think Allen Robinson is a nice bounce back candidate, and you can get him cheaply in DFS. So if you put him with Stafford, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch. And then we talked about the Colts. Ashton Dulin, Paris Campbell. I think either of those guys, they're going to start today. Those two guys are going to start. But I think Dulin is going to fall into that Pittman role. So I would give the slight edge to Dulin. He's also cheaper, a lot cheaper on DFS. And there's two guys I want to talk about right now briefly. First one is probably one of my favorite pickups in fantasy football. And King, you know this. But if I told you last week who had the top number of targets and the top number of receptions out of rookie receivers in the NFL,
I would
who
know.
would you guess?
The white kid from the Titans, Robinson.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Kyle Phillips, 6
Phillips,
for
that's his name.
66 last week, 9 targets, and he didn't have that many snaps. He had like 20-something snaps. So what's going to happen? He's going to get more snaps going forward, and those numbers are going to go through the roof. Tannehill targeted him with the game on the line. He didn't throw it to Woods. He didn't throw it to the first round rookie Burks. He threw it to Kyle Phillips. And I'm telling you, like, everyone keeps telling me, yeah, but I keep hearing all week, well, he's not big. He can't score touchdowns. He scored 10 touchdowns at UCLA last year in his senior year. 10 touchdowns. Guys, pick up this kid wherever you can. He is a PPR machine, and he's just going to keep getting better and better. So I love Kyle Phillips. The other guy I'm telling you to target right now, and everyone keeps talking about Jeff Wilson Jr. Tyrion Davis-Price. No, Jordan Mason, guys. They love this kid. That's why they cut Trey Sermon. You know Wilson is not a number one guy. He's going to start off as the number one guy. But once this kid gets on the field, the running back coaches are enamored with this kid. He was their best running back in preseason. He gets positive yards. I have not seen a single carry where he's lost yardage. Everyone's going to go Davis, Price, and Wilson. Go after Mason. I'm telling you, this is the last week you're going to be able to do it.
Ray, question for you. Travis Etienne, now that he's splitting carries, better start than Rachaad White?
I think today, yes. I think Fournette's going to get all the carries. He's fine. He's questionable, but I think he's
a heavy dude.
He's going to get the same amount of carries. So, and And Robinson's going to at least get the goal line carries. I mean, you saw what Peterson did in Philly. It's not going to be anything different here.
I hope
but
Fournette gets that many carries because he'll wear himself out. His fat ass will get worn out with his hamstring so fast that Rachaad White will be the starter. I hope he gets that many carries, 27 touches again. Ridiculous.
I do want to add on Paris Campbell. They called Michael Pittman Jr. out very early with a quad injury. So when that happens, it could lead to multiple weeks. So when you pick up Paris Campbell, you could potentially be in a wide receiver 2.
And he ran the most snaps of any wide receiver in the NFL last week, Paris Campbell. So he's practically an every down player.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right. I'm still stuck with it. I get some spots I can't figure out who to play and who not. Because the thing is with Robinson too, Phillips, he's questionable for Monday night. A shoulder injury. There's a lot of injuries to go around. But I believe in. Do you guys know who you're playing in our in the corrupted?
I got Buddy. And he's predicted to beat me by like 2-3 points. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't happening, buddy. I'm coming for you. I see projections. Brother Ray had projections to beat me a few times. Ask him about it.
Look, the thing is, I don't like their projections mean nothing to me. Like literally nothing to me. But as of now, I'm projected to lose by 5 points to Joey Paranormal's team, no coordinators. Here's who we got too. He's got Lamar, Tyreek Hill, Cortland Sutton, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Carter, Mark Andrews, Cordell Patterson, Tucker at Denver.
It's a great team. Oh my, that's his team?
Yeah, but there's a couple of spots that get rough. Like
that's a tough out.
I got Josh Allen, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Knox, Cooper, Amari Cooper, Folk, and the Baltimore defense.
I don't like
I'm going to beat him today. I am. If Saquon does
I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is the number one in that offense. And I think you're going to see that. I think they're going to phase Cooper out. And Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be the wide receiver 1.
But did you guys watch the difference in Saquon Barkley last week, where he wasn't slowing up? He wasn't like last year was so awful to watch him because I was like, he might be done by the way he was running. Like he's not running anymore full speed. He's stopping and stuff. But last week
I got him on 4 of 11 teams, and I hope he's the running back number 1, and I think he can be.
Guys, when he pops into somebody, he hits them so fast with such power. And then the way he can just move left to right is so ridiculous. The fact that you can make another human being go by you by just stopping at such speed, it's just fun to see him running again. How about that? I'm happy as a Giants fan just to see him running. And I do think Daniel's going to be exactly what we needed him. Phil Simms took how many years to become a quarterback? If they would have gave up on Phil Simms in like 2 or 3 years, he would have been gone. Phil Simms was horrible in the beginning of his career. Horrible. Couldn't even stay on the field. Broke his finger on a helmet. All these injuries, right? Eli Manning, the first 3 years, everybody wanted him gone. He looked awful. And then year 4, he won the Super Bowl. My point is, Daniel doesn't look as bad as those two did during their stretches. And Daniel now has a coach who will yell in his face. Thank you, God. That's all I ask for. Somebody yell in the kid's face. Keep the kid on track, right? Let the kid know. Can't throw that ball again. I'm golden. Guys, I'm very giddy and excited that football is ahead of us again, that it's only week 2. We're in the very beginning of the season, but it's the time for people like us. We get to watch the kind of TV that we want. Now, with that being said, does anybody have to go out with their wives today and run errands? No one? I don't.
Why would anybody do that? That's like sinning.
I've done it before. I've been that spot before I had to go, but now I think I've staked my claim. Me and my bald ass head are going to be down here in the basement. And this shrine that I made for the Giants, I have all kinds of stuff hanging up. I actually have the 2 T-shirts that I both bought in those plastic cups right after they beat the Patriots in both Super Bowls. So they're 2 identical looking T-shirts just with different Super Bowl years. So awesome. It's so awesome. Like I got to tell you, the stuff that I have that says like, congrats to the undefeated Patriots, 18-0. I've got at least 2 or 3 different T-shirts like that I wear out sometimes, and people get upset because it takes them a second to realize that I'm not a Patriots fan. that I'm making fun of them because they didn't win that fucking Super Bowl. Anyways, Ray, anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Week 2, guys. Get those bets in, get those DFS lineups in, and good luck to everybody. Let's win some money.
Matt, you got anything left?
Good luck. Just I'm gonna echo what Brother Ray said. If you have any questions, hit me up, inbox me if you got me. And good luck. Go get it.
I'll tell you this, Matt. You stayed away from saying it's funny, but you actually said it 3 times in a row.
Woo! Did I
go back
say
and
it's
watch-
funny? It's funny. It's funny.
You go back and watch the show. At one point, you went, "It's funny." It's funny. It's funny. I'm like, "What? It's 3?" You like this. I'm
funny,
always
funny,
keeping
funny,
track
funny,
of it. It's
funny,
funny. But you were like at 0, and then you went to 3 in a row. And there
All
you
right,
go.
well, you know what? Now that we're on it, have you ever seen the Wendy's commercial spoof where he's talking about the lady coming through the window and driving through it and whatnot? And you ever see that?
No.
He's always going, I don't know. That's you. That's
All right.
you. You always say, I don't know.
I don't know.
Wait
I just
until
admitted
I'm going
it.
to send it to you right now and you're going to love it. Brother, I'm going to send it to you too.
I always
Please.
say I don't know. But here's the weird thing.
I
though.
love it.
I'll rag on Gentleman Dave really quick if I can. I'll say
You
this to
got,
Dave.
I know how
Wait.
you do spoofs of spoofs. You got to make a spoof of this because that is you. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'll say to Dave, the Giants scored 14 points, and he'll go, I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment either way. I don't know exactly what they scored. And I'll be like, no, I'm not asking you a question. I'm telling you they scored 14 points. I'm not asking for your opinion on it. He can't just say yes or no. He's going to go, I don't know. I wasn't in there to watch it, so I don't know if they scored 14. It's like, they scored 14 points. What are you talking about? Anyways, guys, get your bets in, play your fantasy. Let's have a great week. I look forward to winning in both leagues. I am gonna beat Joey Paranormal like the Joey Parano show that he is. And then in the corrupted league, well, I gotta take the youngling out to the shed for a nice little whipping. Gonna drop him by 40. Gonna beat the beat by 40. Write it down, watch it. When I'm done and I win and I beat him by 40, celebration, fellas. Enjoy the weekend. For Brother Ray, for Mastradamus M1, Mr. Never Left the Card Hog. It's me, Mike Leopard King. Mike Elders was Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. Guys, get your bets in. Tonight is Legit Paranormal at 7:05. See you later. We're out. It's football.